77, 78, the punk rock phenomena began to emerge. And one of the places that it came out heaviest outside of New York and LA was San Francisco.
When you have just a 4-track tape recorder, a couple of mics, it's not really a recording studio, you're just a bunch of guys recording stuff. But we wanted to make a commercial studio, and at the time there was no such thing really. All the studios were owned by record companies. You couldn't really go to a recording studio and record unless you had a record contract.
I began seeing a lot of artwork for different bands that were emerging in 77, 78 that were pretty trippy, really cool artwork for these low-life punk rock bands.
We started offering our services as recording engineers to local bands, and there were plenty of them at the time because at the time there were a lot of places to play, there were a lot of clubs.
So it kind of, I came in through the back door to the punk rock underworld and started doing work for different local bands here, among which was a band called Dead Kennedys, which at the time was probably the most hard-hitting political, social activist band.
In 1980, when I first met the Dead Kennedys, they were becoming a local phenomena.
California, over Alice, California, over Alice, over Alice, California, over Alice, California.
They really wanted to not sound like anyone else. They really wanted to have their own sound. When a Dead Kennedy record comes on, they want people to go, oh wow, that's who they are. Because at the time there were a number of bands that all sounded the same.
Turns out, of course, the Dead Kennedys went on to becoming kind of a phenomenon worldwide and inspired a lot of other bands.
You know, you think of California, you think of the blonde girls, and you think of Hollywood.
Oh, you're really starting to sound like a Californian. Well, you can tell that by using the word dude more than once in an entire lifetime.
So California, I don't know. It's California. It's big. It's.
I'm your boss, taste of romance.
California. Sommer, Sonne, Strand, Hollywood, Surfing, Baywatch. Doch wie viel California steckt in San Francisco? Was bedeutet Kalifornien für San Franciscans? Und wieso wird ein Österreicher, der sich als Conan der Barbar einen Namen machte, Gouverneur des größten und reichsten Staates der USA?
We've got Arnold Schwarzenegger as our governor, and that's somehow a bunch of people in the state of California voted for this guy, which I'm a little disconnected to.
Having the governator is one of I really love it.
And look at all of the great things you can do in this country if you put your mind to it. Look at Arnold, and he's not even German.
Now, San Francisco is definitely a separate thing from California. I think it was Paul Kantner once said, San Francisco is 49 square miles surrounded by reality.
Während meines Aufenthalts wird George W. Bush am 2. November 2004 als Präsident der Vereinigten Staaten wiedergewählt. Durch San Francisco geht ein Aufschrei der Empörung.
San Francisco really went big for John Kerry. It's not a George Bush place. It's a very anti-George Bush place.
Touring with the band that I work for, sitting in a diner on the side of the highway on 80 in Illinois, Indiana, whatever, talking to people there, I realize that's the majority out there. Here, it's completely the opposite. It's completely the opposite.
Kind of wonder what information they were given, if any, and how they can possibly think the way they think. Is the rest of this country really that uneducated?
Yeah, get them! Those Iranis or Iraqis, what countries? I don't even know. Get them! They got weapons and stuff.
Few corporations own basically most, I'd say 80% of the news in America, maybe more.
I'm angry about the media. I am pissed off. That pisses me off that we don't have freedom of media, that we're not allowing Americans to know really in depth what the fuck is going on. That pisses me off. That pisses me off.